Hi guys, Sandy Ingram here. Welcome to the Education Matrix channel. In today's video, we're going to do something a little different. Now, you do realize we don't talk politics on this channel. The news as it relates to foreign currency for Iraq, Vietnam, and Malaysia is discussed. However, this coming election has a lot to do with our investment. And I want to shine a light into dark corners so that we are all informed and not surprised by any of the outcomes. This video concerns the decisions made at the highest level of government which have directly or indirectly affected Iraq and our investment in Iraq. The article starts out comparing General Colin Powell to a rhino who, as Secretary of State, fed President George Bush inaccurate information when they said Saddam, the leader of Iraq, had weapons of mass destruction. This basically started President George Bush's 2003 Iraqi war. Now, here's a side note. Let me ask you a question. If the U.S. Army found unidentified liquids in Iraq, these liquids were not labeled, and no one was talking about what the liquid formulas were, and these liquids were quietly removed and probably brought back to the United States. Would you say that Iraq possibly may have had chemical weapons and our government did not admit it? And if this was the case, why would they not say something? Why would they take the blame for starting a war due to false information? Moving right along, back to the timeline and the decisions. The Gulf War was the war that created ISIS, which grew under President Barack Obama. The organization grew to the point of controlling land the size of Great Britain, with 400 million in assets, mostly from oil. After the war, the first big mistake, which was made before the Obama administration, was disbanding the Iraqi army, which could have provided security and stability for the Iraqis. Instead, thousands of ex-soldiers joined ISIS. The article goes on to say that Obama and Biden looked another way while the terrorists killed James Foley.
On the air right now because President Obama is about to speak from Martha's Vineyard on the execution of American journalist James Foley by the Islamic militants fighting in Iraq and Syria.
Who was a freelance journalist. Foley was seized by ISIS in 2012. There are more beheadings and loss of life for U.S. citizens by ISIS. The White House did little. Then came this new president with assets in seven figures, low seven figures, but still a billionaire. Yes, they separated him from his money and his investments, but none of that can change how he thinks. The article says thanks to Trump, U.S. military advisors, and the Kurds, the ISIS rule was destroyed. Now, 7 months after the ISIS supposedly crumbled, the leader was tracked down and killed, with orders from the Trump administration. 3 months after that, the general from Iran was killed by a U.S. drone in Iraq. This is when the U.S. joined Turkey and Iran in disrespecting Iraq's territory. The U.S. says their actions were designed to keep Iraq safe, which is more than likely true, after we learned that previous presidents also considered killing the general. It was clear the Trump White House wanted to cut off the head of the organization. Amidst all of this, President Trump crushed the deal between Iran and the U.S. But that's what I really want to share with you. The Iran nuclear deal agreement of 2015 was between the Islamic Republic of Iran and a group of world powers, including the P5+1, permanent members of the United Nations Security Council, the United States, the United Kingdom, Russia, France, and China, plus Germany and the European Union. President Trump pulled the U.S. out of the deal, and the other powers that be were not happy about that decision. Now, the European countries are having trouble with Iran not complying with the original agreement. Certainly, Trump's decision has made Iran more hostile towards the United States. And you have to ask yourself, can we expect a revalue, a float, or a reinstatement in the near future? I am thinking that we must do the same thing that Iraq is probably making plans to do, and that is to shield ourselves from the actions of others.